folks, what we're doing down here today is Friday afternoon. I had a short day today, got my work done and got out of there in time. And what it is, I come down here to check this spot out. Me and Chris Jones, BluKollar Bucks. He came in here yesterday afternoon and done a little bit of looking around. We've got cameras in. Well, he's got cameras in here, and we got 4 pretty good bucks in here. And either way, I told him I was going to come down here this afternoon and make a couple of laps on 2 ridges down here, set up another camera. That way we got a set of eyes in here 24/7. We're going to team up and try to kill one of these mature bucks in here. I think early season. And anyway, I've just come in here and I've got on my first scrape, and looks pretty good in here. Coming up out of a ridge down in a gully here, but this is in between 2 ridges. Finger saddle goes off back into the creek, and then another ridge starts out here. But that one there has been hit pretty recently. But I'm gonna walk in here and see what all I can find, and try to get this other camera hung up in here. That way we got more eyes in here to see what's going on, see if we can start pinpointing travel ways for these deer. But y'all stay tuned, stay with us. Alright guys, I walked in here a pretty good ways in here, and what I've got a finger ridge that comes off right here. Just found another scrape right there, and there's a fresh rub right there, right beside the scrape. Then broke off a few limbs and stuff up here. It don't look like it's very old, but what this is a little knoll in here that's coming off that ridge up there. I'm about, I don't know, probably halfway down this ridge. The creek's down there at the bottom. I come from the bottom coming up this ridge and got on a rub line and a good trail. Started finding a few scrapes up through here, but that works back up the ridge up that way. I'm gonna go up to the top and I'm gonna make a right hand turn, circle back around, kind of check this whole ridge out and see what's in here. But like I say, I've done found three scrapes, I believe. So I'm looking for that certain one. Got plenty of white oaks in here. White oak trees right here, so I mean there's feed, there's cover. You see how thick it is in here. I mean it's perfect for bucks. But I'm gonna ease on around a little bit, see what else I can find. Alright guys, I'm getting close. Getting close to finding a sign that I'm going to be finding. It took me a little while to get on these trails right here where these deer are using. They're using a little edge of a ditch line, and I'm fixing to come up on a saddle right up here, about middle ways down the ridge. And I just will come up on this one. This is pretty fresh. That sucker's got this thing going all the way around it. Over cedar tree. I'm looking to start finding a few scrapes right here. This is a heavily traveled trail around the backside of a ridge, crossing over this little saddle right here, about middle ways down the ridge top. And man, it's thick in here. Kind of get down and look at it in there, but they coming right around the edge, right up through here. And they actually fixing to cross over this saddle. Kind of see a saddle form right there, and then go back up. Right there is where I'm headed. I'm pretty sure I'm fixing to, and it's all pointing back to the direction where we got these cameras set up in here. Like I say, I ain't found the right one yet to hang this other one on, but I'm still looking. Y'all stay with me. Alright guys, that's about what I was thinking. I'm standing on top of this saddle on this ridge right now. I just come up from where I found that cedar tree rubbed. Come right here on top of the hill. There it is. Go right on across the saddle. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's the rub line going right off down in here. Another one right down there. But you see how thick this is on the back of this hill right here. The next ridge over is where Chris was at yesterday. And everything that I have found is all headed that direction. But they're using these ditches right here. I'm gonna follow this ditch on out till it runs to the bottom, but I'm not getting on top of that ridge he was on yesterday. I'm gonna try to follow out and see where this comes out. But y'all stick with me, guys. Finding some good stuff in here. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get as much eye in here as we can, and try to pinpoint exactly what route these deer are using. There's several nice deer in here. Already got them on camera the last couple of weeks, and Chris put in work yesterday, and I'm down here today. Got a pretty good wind. It's all blowing back the way it needs to be. And I'm just trying to ease around in here, not make a whole lot of noise. But I got to see, you know what I mean? I got to see. Alright, I'll get back with you guys. Alright guys, I found what I'm looking for. I got a heavily traveled trail cutting right across through here. Got one scrape right here under this little cedar tree. I got another scrape about 15 yards right here, right down this same trail. And there's another one past it about 10-15 yards. I mean, it's just scrape after scrape after scrape right here. You can see the trail coming right down this bank. But and there's another one right here. Right there. You got the cedar limbs broke off. Trail's going right around the back of this stick right here. Right there in that little swag right over there is another scrape. Chris, I'm on his trail, brother. I'm about 200. Well, I'd say I'm probably about 170, 180 from the ridge top where he was at yesterday. And I'm gonna set this camera right in here somewhere, because it's headed right to where we first come in here at. So, pretty sure these are gonna be the same deer. This is pretty heavily used. Got a several scrapes. There's rubs right there. There's rubs there. As you can see, well, matter of fact, there's another scrape standing right there behind me. I didn't even see it. Right here, another figure. Right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick up the camera right here. I think it's gonna be a pretty good spot here to catch some, have another set of eyes to catch these deer coming and going. Alright guys, I ain't got a whole lot of battery left on this phone. I'll get back with you when I get ready to get out of here. Alright guys, I got it done. Got the scrape here. Got one scrape there. 15 yards, I got another scrape right there. And another 10, 15 yards, I got another scrape right there. So anything that's coming through this trail, right through here, this trail runs right back through here, where I'm at, goes between them two pines right there, right to that other scrape. Got the camera set up right there. So, should be able to get something right here. Hopefully it's the ones we're looking for. Alright, I'm gonna ease up out of here. Catch y'all back at the truck. Alright guys, I'm back here at the truck now. Tried to get out there before the afternoon time comes, you know, when the deer start moving and stuff, but went back on a piece of public in here that me and Chris have been looking at. Been in there 2 or 3 times and hung some camera, got some good deer in here. Got some really good deer in here. And what we're doing, trying to figure these deer out. Chris was in here yesterday and I couldn't make it. Had to go to a ball game for my grandson, but I come in here this afternoon and wanted to put another set of eyes in here, so I hung up another camera. Took me a while to find what I was looking for. I went a little deeper, you know, where we thought them deer might be using, and I never could find nothing in there that I really liked. I mean, there was deer in there, a lot of trails, a lot of fresh stuff, but it wasn't what I was looking for. And I made a big loop, circled around, come back, and I finally got on the trail I was looking for. Found a bunch of rubs on this one trail, coming around the edge of the thicket on transition, and found a lot of, like I say, rubs in there, and I started finding a few scrapes here and there, and they all, you know, I started dropping pins on scrapes, trying to do a connect the dot thing, and when I realized what I was doing, where I was at right there, and I run up on 4 different scrapes in one spot. And he's torn up some limbs in there, some cedar trees, probably big around as your leg. You know, pretty good deer doing that, I think. And but anyway, I kept following that line, and I found those four scrapes all together. And so I marked them and kind of looked at my map a little bit, and as the way an arrow points, it was pointing right to the deer where we have them on camera. So it's probably, I don't know, 200 or 300 yards from where Chris was at yesterday. Maybe, I know I got one time, I got about probably 175, 200 yards from the ridge that he was on. And but I doubled back and come back west on them. And anyway, I got on these scrapes, and like I say, I found all of them in the line right there, so I started marking them, and there was a bunch of ditches and gullies, thick pines, short pines, mixed on the edge of hardwoods. I mean, they had a trail around this back of this ridge just wore slick. And so I hung a camera in there. We'll see what's going on in there. You know, it may not be nothing, but I believe it's the same deer. I'm not sure, but we're gonna see. But like I say, me and Chris are gonna try to tag team them deer in there this year, and hopefully we'll make it happen. Appreciate y'all watching. And I'll get back with you. Y'all have a good evening.